our conversation with, if you could talk to yourself at any point in your career, at any stage or age, and you wanted to tell them to persist in a STEM career, what would you say to yourself? And at what age would that be?
I think, you know, you try to keep people or catch people's attention usually around middle school. That's when people lose interest
Yeah.
in STEM.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell, not necessarily myself, but my parents. And my parents were good at this, so I don't really need to tell my parents. Let me say, I would tell other people's parents.
Okay.
Make sure you enroll your kids in these summer programs. There's so many summer enrichment programs
Mm-hmm.
specifically for convincing students and children from underrepresented backgrounds to stay in STEM. I used to get so annoyed when I was little because my cousins would be at the YMCA and they'd be playing soccer, and
Right.
my sister and I would be enrolled in some program in Auburn, some STEM program, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I don't want to keep doing that. I want to have fun in the summer. My parents were like, no, you're learning something new this summer. Have fun. And it's interesting how many of those people I'm still in contact with. And those are the people who are MDs now and other PhDs. And so when you have a group of children who look like you, and at least some of them are still interested in STEM, it kind of encourages you to stay interested in STEM as well.
Hey, that is really
The
good.
other good thing about those programs is that they're usually led by people from underrepresented backgrounds. So now you're getting to see people that look like you doing what you're considering doing. You're getting to see scientists like Dr. Sabrina Walthall. You're getting to see Aisha Dickerson, because I always mentor in these programs in the summer because I know how much of an impact it had on me. So I want to make sure that the students get that same impact. The other thing I would tell myself in undergrad is don't take 8 o'clock classes.
That'll make me laugh. But yes, not the thing to do, especially if you're going to sleep on the front row,
Yeah.
i.e. Sabrina Walker.
And the sad part is that my older cousin told me that. She said, don't register for 8 o'clock classes. And I said, no, you don't want to keep the same schedule I had in high school. Like I did not calculate in the fact that without my parents telling me to go to sleep, that there would be no sleep schedule.
Right, right.
That getting up at 8 o'clock might not be the best option when you didn't go to bed until 2 o'clock because your friends decided that they wanted to go and have a barbecue chicken baked potato at Al's or Purple Onion or something like that
Yes.
at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's the other thing I would tell me. And the third thing that I would probably tell myself, and this might be from probably my PhD self, I would tell me don't limit yourself to the people around you at the school. If you can't find your circle at your school, step out to another school. So there were plenty of HBCUs around Houston that had PhD programs that I probably could have broadened my network out to them. Instead, I was staying in this little circle at the University of Texas, which made it harder for me to kind of feel like I belonged. But now they have social media. They didn't have social media when I was
I know,
when I
right?
was now you have like the Black women PhDs and the Black men
Yes.
PhD groups,
The women
and
of
they
color
have little
STEM.
networking things within your city, and you can go and you can meet other Black PhDs or other Black PhD students. That was harder to
Right.
do when I was in school, and unless somebody say, "Oh, I know somebody else working on a PhD, let me introduce you to them." You just didn't know who to find. So
That
that's the
is
other
so
thing I
true.
would say. Yeah.
No, that those are really some great pearls of wisdom, and especially the last one about being in a PhD program and looking to other colleges that might have them, especially if you are feeling definitely alone. And I just want to touch on this because you brought it up. Feeling like you not do not belong there. We talk about imposter syndrome a lot, and so if you could just for a moment speak on how has imposter syndrome affected your persistent in STEM? Like, did it at some point grow and made you want to think about getting out of STEM? Or was it one of those little pebbles in the road that you always had to kick to the side?
It never made me want to get out. I think the biggest thing with imposter syndrome is thinking that you're not quite good enough. And so you do everything harder. Yeah, and I think that's common in the African American community overall. They always say you have to do twice as much to get half as much
Right.
accolades and attention. And so I've just always been conditioned to do twice as much.
Yeah.
That's just what I do. And even now, so I recently got a grant funded, I guess that was last month, and I was telling my department chair just so it would be on his list. And he said, "Oh, that's great. We were expecting you to do great things." So I said, "Well, that's good to hear because when I got hired, my only goal was don't disappoint them. Don't make these people regret hiring you."
Really?
Yeah, that was my thought. Like, do not make them regret hiring you.
I would have
Get the
never.
money, write the papers, get the money. And
I
I've written so many grant proposals, and there are only 2 so far that haven't been funded. And that I don't think I would have. I'm actually overfunded now because I was just pumping out grant proposals because I did not. I wanted to make sure I had enough money, and now I have too much money.
that is wonderful. I'm quite sure